Hello, welcome back to the brand new session of Certified Ethical Hacking Program. And in this session, we are going to discuss about the email footprinting. So, actually, email footprinting or tracing emails involves analyze the email header to discover details about the sender. So, consider a lab scenario that as a professional ethical hacker, you need to able to track emails of individual, though it is of individual or maybe employee from a target organization for gathering critical information that can help in building an effective hacking strategy. So email tracking allow you to collect information such as IP address, mail servers, OS details, geolocation, all etc information about the service providers involved in sending mail servers or maybe etc. So by using this information you can perform social engineering and other advanced attacks as well. So we will gather about the target by tracing emails using different kind of technologies. So let's have a look into this practical. Well, apart from email tracing, we will also cover who is footprinting. We will also cover DNS footprinting, network footprinting, and last but not the least, we will also cover some footprinting using various footprinting tools as well. Okay, so let's get back to our browser. So you can open your email account as I have opened my training purpose account. So now I will choose any of the mail. So let's consider I'm just choosing this mail from Course Hero. So let's consider if you want to know about this email, because the email header is crucial part of any email, and it is considered a great source of information for any ethical hacker launching attacks against a target. So an email header contains the details of the sender, routing information, addressing scheme date, subject, recipient, etc. Additionally, the email header helps ethical hackers to trace the routing path taken by an email before delivering to it the recipient. So now here we are opening any email. So we just opened the email and you can see that I have a mail. So you can just go through this three dot menu on Gmail, and any if you are using any other mail services like you are using Outlook, Live, Hotmail, Rediff Mail, so whatever you are using the services or mail services, you will get a one option and you will see show original option. Wherever you are using Outlook, Live, right, any other mail services if you are using, you will find out the show original, and here you will see the original message of email. So now you need to find out receive from line in the email header. So you can see that this is a receive from line and this is a target organization IP address. So you can just copy this address and just Google out what is my IP address. And here you will find out what is my IP address.com and you can click on that. Once you click on that, you can find out that IP. So just paste that IP address and just search it. So when you will search, you will see the United States, New York, and you will see the exact location of that particular stream. Whatever you have selected, like I have selected Course Hero. So the address and the location will be here of Course Hero, right? So this is a latitude and longitude. You can also try to search with the longitude and latitude. So this is a first step which you can do that part. And one more thing which you can do, and you can just copy this particular header and you can just go through the IP2 location and just go through the free email header tracer. So once you are there, please paste your header and just click on lookup. Once you look up, you will see IP address, country, region, coordinates, ISPs, then local time, the weather station, whatever you want to know about, everything you will see. Everything you will be able to understand whatever it is. So this is how you can identify the email and how you can track an email. So this is a nice step which you can do. There is a tool, you can also use that tool if it is not working. So yes, you can use this tool. I'm not going to demonstrate that, but yes, you can choose email tracker pro. Yes, you can use for free. You will find out in our download list. Email tracker pro, you can use it. Obviously there will be a subscription and you can start your trial. So this is how you can just work with email tracker pro. But there is a question that what we are doing here. So basically here we are analyzing the email header from the Gmail account. However, you can also analyze the email header from Outlook account or any other services as well. Yes, so this concludes the demonstration of gathering information through analysis of the email header using different services using actually IP2 locations and what is my IP address.com. And you can also use, as I have told you, you can use Email Tracker Pro or you can also use Infoga. So this is available for Linux. So yes, you can choose Infoga. If required, we will demonstrate Infoga or one more tool, Mailtrake, I think so. Yes, Mailtrake. So you can also go through that part, and again, this will be a licensed part, but yes, you can download for free. So now come back to our main screen, and now we will use different techniques for who is footprinting. So basically we need to understand who is lookup reveals available information on a host name, IP address or domain, etc. So consider a lab scenario during the footprinting process. Gathering information on the target IP addresses and domain obtained during the previous information gathering steps is important. And as a professional ethical hacker or pen tester, you should be able to perform who is footprinting on the target. This method provides target domain information such as the owner, its a register, maybe registration details, name server, contact information, etc. So using this information, you can create a map of organization network, perform social engineering attacks, and obtain internal details of the network. So in this lab, we will perform who is lookup using domain tools. So now come back to our main Kali Linux machine and we are going to type who is. So this lab focuses on how to perform a who is lookup and analyze the results. Who is query and response protocol used for querying database that stores that the registered users or assignees of an internet resource such as domain name, an IP address block, or autonomous system. So this protocol listens to request on port 43, that is TCP, and regional internet registries maintain whois databases and contains the personal information of the domain owners. For each resource, the whois database provides text records with information about the resource itself and relevant information or assignees, registrants, and administrative information, or maybe creation and expiry dates, etc. So as I have typed who is, so you will get a lot of results and you can use any one of them. So we will use maybe one, two, or maybe three. So I am just trying open in link new tab. Then who is, again, this is a nice tool. So, and this one, what I was trying to demonstrate. So this is our main tool of this lab. Okay, so now we are going to the first tool, whois.com, and here you will get two search engines where first you can just type enter domain or IP if you want to get details of your target organization, and if you want to find any domain details like is it available for sale or not or something like that. So yes, you can find it here. But as of now, we are just getting the details of our target organization. So let in my case certifiedhacker.com. So here you can see that you will get the domain information, registrant contacts, and administrative contacts, technical contact, then raw whois data. So you will get each and every small details which you can find out here. So this is a nice tool. You can also use the another tool name which we had discussed. right? The second tool, that was who.is. So again, you can just type the name certifiedhacker.com, hit enter. So here you will see the exact details like register info, important dates, expire ons and registered on, name servers you will get. So again, you will get the contact information, administrative contact information, then yes, technical contact information. So everything you will get on a one page. And the last but not the least tool, again, who is lookup, or you can say whois.domaintools.com. So here again, I will just type certifiedhacker.com, and let's have a look what we are getting in this website. All are the websites, so don't worry about that part. So yes, validation is required, so that's why I'm just click on I'm not robot and bicycles. Okay, fine. So let me just complete this validation. Motorcycles. I hope it's done, and let's go. Maybe you will not require the validation, but in my case it's required, so that's why I just verified. And then you can see that who is record, register status, dates, name, servers, IP address, IP location, ASN, domain status, IP history, register history, hosting history. So this is how you can just work with this particular tools, right? So we in this lab we just saw three tools. First was whois.com, the second was who.is, and the third, last but not the least, that is whois.domaintools.com. Right? So this concludes the demonstration of gathering information about the target organization by performing the whois lookup using domain tools. And you can also other whois lookup tools like smart whois or batch IP converter or something like those. Well, coming back to our main screen, now we will see using different techniques for DNS footprinting. So DNS, or you can say domain name system footprinting, reveals information about the DNS zone data. So consider a lab scenario. As a professional ethical hacker, you need to gather the DNS information of a target domain obtained during the previous steps. So you need to perform DNS footprinting to gather information about the DNS server, DNS records, and types of servers used by the target organizations. DNS zone data includes DNS zone domain names, computer names, IP addresses, domain mail servers, service records, and much more about the target network. So using this information, you can determine key hosts connected in the network and perform social engineering attacks to gather even more information, right? So in this session, we will gather the DNS information using NSLOOKUP command line utility and online tools. We will also perform a reverse DNS lookup, right, using reverse IP domain, check, and DNS recon. We will also gather the information of subdomains and DNS record using security trails. So coming back to our main Kali screen, and I'm just closing all these tabs, and we'll just type NS lookup. But before we start our NS lookup lab, first of all, we need to understand the DNS. So basically, DNS considered the intermediary source for any internet communication. So the primary function of DNS is to translate a domain name to IP address and vice versa to enable human machine network internet communication. So since each device has a unique IP addresses, it is hard begins to memorize all IP addresses of the required application. So DNS will help in converting the IP address to a more easily understandable domain format, which eases the burden on human beings. So let's have a look to try gather DNS information using NS lookup commands line utility and some other online tools. First of all, NS lookup you can try to run on Kali Linux, or if it is not working, you can also try to run this command on your Windows terminal, or you can say command prompt. I will try to run these tools on Kali Linux. So NSLOOKUP is a network administration command line utility generally used for querying the DNS to obtain a domain name or IP addresses, mapping, or you can say for any other specific DNS record. So this utility is available both as a command line utility and web application as well. So here we are performing DNS information gathering about target organization using the NSLOOKUP command line utility and NSLOOKUP web application as well. So let's try to run NSLOOKUP. So now you will see something, right? You will see the arrow. So now here you can say DNS.Google. Let me just check. Is it working or not? Yes, it is working. You can also try to run this command on your Windows terminal. So let me just check NSLOOKUP. So let's try to type set type equals to A. So basically you need to understand what exactly A means. So setting the type as a A, it will configuring the NSLOOKUP to query for IP address of a given domain, right? So this is how set type A, and you can just type certifiedhacker.com. Let me just check the details. Certifiedhacker.com. So here you can see that the certifiedhacker.com IP address and aliases also you can try to see that. This is how it will work, and these are all simple practicals. Only the thing is you need to just gather information. And the first two lines in the results are, DNS.Google and address is 8.8.8.8. So this specifies that the result was directed to the default server hosted on the local machine, which I am having right now, Windows 11, that will resolve your request domain. And thus, if the response is coming from your local machine server, but not the server that legitimately hosts the domain, which is in our case certifiedhacker.com, so it is considered to be a non-authoritative answer. Here the IP address of the target domain www.certifiedhacker.com is 162.241.216.11. Since the result returned in the non-authoritative, you need to obtain the domain's authoritative name server. So you need to just type set type equal to CNAME, that is canonical name, right? So the CNAME lookup is done directly against the domain's authoritative name server, and it lists the CNAME records for the domain. So I have typed. Now you need to try certifiedhacker.com. So now you can see that this will return the domain's authoritative name server, that is ns1.bluehost.com, right? And along with the mail server's address, as you can see that in our screen. Since you have obtained the authoritative name server, you will need to determine the IP address of the name server. So you need to just type the command set type equal to A. Oops, sorry, I just type mistake. So set type equals to A and hit enter, and then type ns1.bluehost.com and hit enter. So basically or the primary name server that is displayed in your lab environment, and you need to press enter, and this will return the IP address of the server as shown on my screen right now. So 162.159.24.80. So the authoritative name server stores the record associated with the domain. So if an attacker can determine the authoritative name server and obtain its associated IP address, he or she might attempt to exploit the server to perform attacks such as DOS, DDoS, URL redirection, etc. So you can also perform the same operation using the NSLOOKUP online tool. So conduct a series of queries and review the information to gain familiarity with the NSLOOKUP tools and gather information. So now we will use an online tool, NSLOOKUP, to gather the DNS information about the target domain. So you can open your web browser. Let me just try cloth.net. I think so that is a nice tool. Let me just check, is it available or not? Yep, it is available, and you can see that NSLOOKUP is available. So yes, you can just go through the cloth.name, and then NSLOOKUP is the shortcut. So I'm just clicking on NSLOOKUP, and here you will see this kind of web page, right? So once the site opens, in the domain field you can enter the name like certifiedhacker.com, right? So you need to set the query type A as it is already entered, and yes, you can just look it up. So you will see the results whatever we are having right now. So in the query field you can see that you can click the drop down, so you will have a lot of options, right? And you can try like triple double A that for IPv6. So yes, you can perform queries related to this, since there are attacks that are possible over IPv6 network as well. So that's why we are just trying to get the information about the same, right? So this will conclude the demonstration of a DNS information gathering using NSLOOKUP command line utility and NSLOOKUP online tool, right? You can also use DNS lookup tools such as DNS dumpster and DNS records, etc. to extract additional target DNS information, right? And now we will perform reverse DNS lookup using reverse IP domain check and DNS recon. So now browse the next website, that will you get signal, right? Let's have a look into this part. So DNS lookup is used for finding the IP addresses for a given domain names, and the reverse DNS operations is performed to obtain the domain names of given IP addresses. So here we are performing reverse DNS lookup using uGetSignal's reverse IP domain check tool to find the other domain sites that shares the same web browser as our target server. So here we are also performing a reverse DNS lookup using DNS recon on IP range in an attempt to look at a DNS PTR records for those IP addresses. So yes, we just open up the uGetSignal website and you will see this kind of web page. So on the reverse IP domain check page, you can enter your certifiedhacker.com in the remote address field, which I will show you on my web page. Let me just click on that, and once it is open, you can just type in your field certifiedhacker.com, and I will just click on check to find other domain sites hosted on the certifiedhacker.com web server. So you will get the list of the domains sites hosted on the same servers as certifiedhacker.com. So you can switch to Parrot security, or if you have Kali Linux, yes, you can just go through the Kali Linux terminal and you can just type DNS recon. Let me just check, is it available or not? Yes, it is available, but let me check, is it working or not? Yes, it is working. So here we will use the IP address range, which will include the IP addresses of our target, that is the certifiedhacker.com. So let me just try DNS recon, and yes, we will acquire in the previous what we have acquired in the previous step, we will use as the same target organization, that is certifiedhacker.com. So as of now, I'm just doing DNS recon space -r and -r option specifying the range of IP addresses first and last for reverse lookup brute force. So here I'm just typing 162.241.216.0, and I will just give hyphen, or you can say dash, 162.241.210 or 216, sorry, .255. And why I'm giving this range? Because as you can see that this is our network IP address of the target organization, right? So that's why I gave the same address to locate a DNS PTR records for IP address between this particular range. So I will wait for the output of this particular. So yeah, performing reverse lookup from 162.241.216.0 to 255. So now you got some records, PTR records, as we were just discussing about. So now all these are the host, or you can say the IP addresses, which are using or which are used by the certifiedhacker.com on the same server. So this concludes the demonstration of gathering information about a target organization by performing reverse DNS lookup using UGET Signals reverse IP domain check and DNS Recon tool. So now we will just clear the terminal and we will just go back to our web browser, and we will also close this web browser tab and we will just create a new tab. So now we will gather the information of subdomains and DNS records using security trails. So security trails is the website which you need to just browse. So it is an advanced DNS enumeration tool that is capable of creating a DNS map of the target organization or target domain network. So it can enumerate both current and historical DNS records such as A, AAA, NS, MX, SOA, and TXT, which will help in building the DNS structure, and it also enumerates all the existing subdomains of the target domain using brute force techniques. So here we are using security trails to gather information regarding the subdomains and DNS records for target website. So here I just typed security trails on a Google and you can just go to their website. So I'm just going to the websites. Again, it is reviewing the security of our connection before proceeding. Verify human, success, proceeding, it's done. Okay, so it looks like we don't require sign up for free. So let me just try to type certifiedhacker.com and I will just hit enter. So here you can see that DNS record where you can find out the A records, that mean IP address, that is IPv6. We don't have. Then mail exchanger records, the name server records, TXT records, SOA server, then CNAME, as you can see that they are using FTP server as well. And everything they are using, whatever we are getting, they are using this kind of, terminologies. You can also switch to the historical data and where you can find out some historical data. Yes, we need to log in to view the rest, right? So yes, here you can just go through all these sections for the historical data, right? And you can also switch back to subdomains. Let me just check. Oh yeah, it is showing all the subdomains. You can have a look into that part, right? So DNS records provides important information about the locations and the type of server which attackers can use to further launch web application attacks. So yes, this concludes the demonstration of gathering information on the subdomains and DNS records of a target organization using security trails. But yes, you can also use DNS checker, DNS dumpster to perform DNS footprinting on the target websites as well. So the next topic is using different techniques for network footprinting. And as we know that network footprinting is a process of gathering network related information of a target organization. So let's consider a scenario with the IP address, hostname and domain obtained in the previous information gathering steps. As a professional ethical hacker, your next task is to perform network footprinting to gather the network related information of a target organization such as network range, trace route, TTL values, etc. So this information will help you to create a map of the target network and perform a man in the middle attacks. Yes. So yes, our lab objective will be locating the network range, performing the network trace routing in Windows or maybe Linux, then performing an advanced network route tracing using Path Analyzer Pro as well. we need to understand the network footprinting concept. So network footprinting is a process of accumulating data regarding a specific network environment. So it will enable the ethical hackers to draw a network diagram and analyze the target network in more details to perform advanced attacks. So now I'm switching back to my Linux terminal, and yes, as we just discussed that network range, we are just locating the network range. So network range information assists in creating a map of the target network, and using the network range you can gather information about how the network is structured and which machines in the network are alive. So further, it also helps to identify the network topology and access the control device and operating system used in the target network. So yeah, this is the erin.net website which we are going to discuss, and we will locate the network range using the erin whois database search tool. And here we will consider the certifiedhacker.com as a target website, and however, you can select your target domain of your choice. So here you will find out the search site or whois. So here you can type certifiedhacker.com, or you can also type the IP address of certifiedhacker.com. So here I just hit enter. So certifiedhacker.com, it's not showing any results for now. So let me just try with the IP address 162. Let me just check the IP address 162. As we already got these details in a previous step, 241.216.11. Yes, it is showing something. I hope it will show you something. Yeah, so with the help of IP address, it is showing a lot of information, as you can see that on my screen right now. So yes, you will get the information about the network range along with the other information such as network type, registration information, and etc. So yes, this concludes the demonstration of locating the network range using the erin whois database search tool. Now we are performing the network trace routing in Windows, or you can also use the Linux terminal. So I'm just switching back to my Linux terminal. You can just type press root. But before we proceed, the route is the path that the network packets traverse between the source and the destination. So network trace routing is a process of identifying the path and host lying between the sources and destination. So network trace route provide critical information such as the IP address of the host lying between the source and destination, which will enable you to map the network topology of the organization. Trace route can be used to extract the information about the network topology, trusted routers, firewall location, and etc. So here we are performing network trace routing using both Windows and Linux machine as well. So however, you can select the target domain of your choice, but I will select certifiedhacker.com. And you need to just be careful that if you are using Linux terminal, please make sure that you are using trace route command. And if you are using Windows terminal or Windows command prompt, then please make sure that you will not be allowed to use trace route. It will be the command which is traceart. So you can just run traceart space www.certifiedhacker.com. I hope I have written, oh, not correct, certifiedhacker.com, and hit enter. And yes, it will take some time, so I'll wait for the results, and let's have a look what it is showing. Okay, so here we got the full results. So this is all about the trace route, that how I am connected with the certifiedhacker.com. But the most important point, if you are willing to know the maximum hopes, right? I mean, if you just want to perform the trace, but with only maximum hope allowed 5 or maybe 10. So yes, you can just type the traceart command with space -h for specifying hopes, or you can say the maximum hopes. In my case, I will try to keep 5, and let's try certifiedhacker.com. Hit enter. So it will just allow only 5 maximum hops. So after viewing the results, you can just close the command prompt and you can just switch back to your Linux terminal. So I will wait for 5 maximum hops. So yes, we got the result with a maximum of 5 hoops. You can see that. So this is our results. So again, this is a Windows terminal thing, but if you are just going back to our Linux terminal, so please make sure that traceroute is available in Kali Linux, and you can just try to run certifiedhacker.com. So here you will see again the same stuff in the Windows, in a Linux terminal. Okay, so now it's interesting that you will get asterisk, or maybe it may vary, because since I have set up a simple network, you can find directly hope from the source to target destination. However, my screen may vary depending on the target destination with you guys. So as you can see, I'm getting all the firewall and checkpoints details here. But because this is my private network for the Kali Linux, as you can see that this is not in my Wi-Fi router network. So this is a private network for my Kali Linux. So that's why I'm getting this different kind of thing. But yes, you can run different commands or different things. If you are not getting from the Linux terminal, yes, you can choose Windows terminal for the same purpose. And yes, this concludes the demonstration of performing network trace routing using the Windows and Linux machines. And yes, you can also use other traceroute tools such as Visual Routes and Traceroute NG to extract additional network information of the target organization.